Good morning.
Let's see. We need at least Ma Yuan Yuan because she's in our lesson. I mean, her writing. We're going to be commenting her writing. Here's Sara. Good morning, Sara Onofrieti.
Hi.
Hi. So, Salvatore, are you cold like Barbara? I mean, you have your hood on your head.
Yes. Because in our country and there are a lot of hot.
What? In our country?
In our country,
What do you mean?
in winter, the temperature are more high.
Okay, so if you say in our country and we're all living in Italy, you're talking about Italy.
Sorry,
But
in
you want
our
to say,
region.
okay, you want to say where I am from, meaning you.
Yeah.
So, and you are from Sicily?
Yes, and Barbara from in English Campania, come si dice?
No, you just say Campania.
Si sono sprecati nella traduzione.
So that means that you feel colder.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, Hanshu has this glass. I mean, in his frame, he's represented with his body, but before him there's a glass. What is that? A glass of water? A glass of tea? What is it? I can't hear you.
Glass of water.
That's a glass of water. Ah, okay.
Sorry.
No, for me, no problem. It just makes it more interesting. Okay. I'm going to start. I'm going to listen. I'll wait two more minutes, and then I'm just going to start. Or maybe I should just even start. But I was waiting for Ma Yuan Yuan because I wanted her to read her piece. But maybe when she saw that it was in the lesson, she decided she wouldn't participate. Okay, now I see another person has added maybe a blanket or something. That's Valeria. Are you cold as well, Valeria?
Not so much.
Oh,
I'm good.
All right.
But I forgot my coffee.
Oh, okay. So go and get your coffee. Let's wake up now. All right, so let's start. So I'm, as usual, I have to ask if anybody wants to participate. And of course, nobody will say yes, except maybe Barbara.
I will.
Oh, finally he said it.
First one.
Okay, so Hanshu. Anybody else?
Can I?
Okay. Barbara, very good.
May I?
Yes, may I? You see, she said it. Barbara. Anyone else? Oh.
I try.
Who said I try? Okay, Salvatore Longo.
Yes.
Come on, Wang Ini.
Yeah.
I can see you smiling there because you knew I was probably going to choose you. So there we go. I'm always choosing the same ones though. Anybody else? Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, teacher. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Okay, now I only have 4 names. Let me get to at least 6. Nobody else? Oh, let me see. Let me look at the names here.
You're looking for volunteers?
Yes.
If you want, I can do it today.
Okay, so Catherine, how about you? Okay, so all right, Catherine. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes. How do you say it? Catherine.
Catherine. It's not correct.
No. But it's perfect too.
But no, I'd like to hear how do you pronounce it correctly?
In French is Catherine.
Catherine.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But everybody calls me Cathy, or the Italians say Catherine.
But it's Catherine.
Catherine.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like these all of these different names. And
Thank you.
okay, so how about Yang Rue? Will you participate? Are you there? Because I can't see your face.
Yeah, I'm here. It's okay.
All right, good. Okay. All right, and we don't have Ma Yuan, right? Huh. So we'll just be reading hers without her. Okay. Good morning, Ma Yuan Tong.
Morning.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, but I think I have to tell you that in like half an hour I have to go out, so I'm gonna switch it on the phone because I have a medical test today.
You have a magical test?
Medical.
Oh, maybe it's magical.
Like
Okay, I hope you'll be. Are you not feeling well?
No, because like before I have some allergies, so they have to run a test on me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
not
That's-
really heavy stuff.
Okay, good. All right. So let's share the screen. So I'm going to go back to lesson 5, and I want let's see. I want Hanshu to do the first reading. Now, while he is reading, it will be about the. It's that little description of romanticism. Okay. While he is reading, I want you to take note of the main points. All of you, take note of the main points. All right. So if you have a pencil or a pen and paper, that's when you begin to use your hand to do those types of things, like writing. Not just using your fingers to digit something on a computer or a telephone. You can even write. Okay, so let's share the screen. Okay, Hanshu, please read.
Wait a minute. Okay. English romanticism. Okay, here we are.
Yeah.
English
Can you see
romanticism. Yes, I can. I see it. English romanticism. The term romanticism in English literature.
Literature.
Okay.
Okay.
Literature. In English, literature refers to a poetic movement of the late 18th and early 19th centuries that turned towards nature and the interior, I don't know, and the interior world feeling, in opposition to the formalism and disciplined scientific inquiry of the Enlightenment era that preceded it.
Very good.
English poets such as William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, John Keats, Percy Bysshe Shelley, William Black, and Lord Byron. Okay, I know him.
Yes.
Produced work that expressed spontaneous spontaneous feelings found parallels
Yes.
to their own emotional lives.
Lives.
Emotional lives in the natural world, and celebrated creativity rather than logic.
Very good. So you see, you had quite a few words that are kind of difficult to pronounce.
Oh, really? I Invented.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me come back to the class. All right. So let's go over some of the main points. What was one of the first points that is important in Romanticism?
You're asking me?
Yes. Well, no, you were reading, so it's not fair. Unless you know the first point.
No. After this reading, I have nothing left in my mind.
All right. Let's start with Jiang Na, if she got one of the first points.
Sorry, what's the question?
The question is, were you able to take notes of the main points? Or did it go too fast, everybody? Shall I go back on the...
I didn't take notes because I didn't reflect immediately.
Okay, all right. So let me go back to the text because it was quite quick. All right. So that wasn't actually fair to, he read it quickly and you're trying to understand it and you're trying to take notes. So let's go over it together. So the principal points here are, here we have a focus on nature. That's the first one. Focus on nature and a focus on the interior world of feeling. So write that down. So 1, nature. 2, the interior world of feeling. Then we can go down to the last sentence or the last part of it here. And it says spontaneity. It's useless talking about feelings because we've already talked about the interior world of feelings. So spontaneity or spontaneous, right? And parallels between our own emotional lives and the natural world, right? And then at the end, creativity rather than logic. So we have 5 points here. A focus on nature, a focus on the interior world of feeling, spontaneity, parallels between our own emotional lives and the natural world, and creativity rather than logic. So these were all of the things that English Romanticism, or the poetry, let's say, of English Romanticism was focused on. If you consider, we looked at, what's his name? Turner last week. Most of these themes come out in Turner's work as well. There's a lot of his, let's see, his dependence on representing his feeling within nature, right? And the creativity over logic, spontaneity, and also the focus on nature. Okay, so let me go back to you. Is it clear now? Okay, so you need, when I ask you to take these notes, it's because they will help you later on, maybe with your writing. Because I may be asking you to reflect on these concepts of English Romanticism, even within contemporary art. So you need to at least have a grasp of what we're talking about. All right, now having these concepts in mind, I would like to read, have someone read one of the pieces that, well, last week I had you write for the test some creative stories, right? And I chose one creative story because I thought that this creative story really matched, or not, let's say matched, incorporated these themes of Romanticism. So let's keep in mind these themes. And then I'm going to ask each one of you, how does this story encompass these themes? All right, so I'll ask Barbara to read. But has she come yet? Let me see. Ma Yuan Yuan. Let me see. Let me open up here. So, okay, so she did not come yet. All right. Let's share the screen. Okay, Barbara, can you read, please?
Yes. Okay. Falling in love with nature and each other was the purpose of their short trip. They had found the ancient, Cretaceous white rocks of Rugen, but at the same time they had lost their hearts and eyes. One man dug up a rock and gave it to his beloved girl. The other admired her a lot but remained silent. Did they fall in love with nature or with each other? Or did they just lose themselves in nature and find themselves again? Will silent love last longer than passionate love? No one knows the answer, but people often get lost in them.
Okay. All right. So let's think about it. So we have to think about, look at this, everybody, and think about the terms that we just went over on. Is there a focus on nature? Is there a look at the interior world of feeling? Is there some sense of a spontaneity in this? And are there parallels between the emotional lives and the natural world? All right, so let me start with Salvatore.
Yes.
Okay.
I think there is a part where the nature meet the emotion of love.
Yes.
The falling in love in relation with the mountain, the fall from the mountain.
Okay.
Because there is a man in on the non mi viene il termine, ciglio della montagna.
Okay, but now that's what, okay, so 1 second now, because
Okay.
you have the image in your mind. So make
Mm.
make as if you don't have this image. You're just based on the image that she's giving you. Okay, but you say that there is a parallel between their emotional lives and the natural world in this thing.
Okay.
Yes, is that what you were saying at the beginning?
There is a relation between the falling in love and the situation of the mountain, of the rock. Rock is in a high place, so more high. It's like a trip to the true nature, the nature in the sky, I think.
Okay, that's very interesting. Plus, at the beginning,
It's
she
like
says,
an ascension to the sky.
all right, and at the beginning, she says, falling in love with nature
Yes.
and each other was the purpose of their short trip. So it's the the purpose means that they went there for both of these reasons, because they were falling in love with nature and with each other. Good. Okay.
Okay.
What about you, Catherine? Do you find any of these points in the story?
Yeah, in fact, this story, first, I want to say it's a very beautiful story. I want to make a compliment to Ma Young, because she wrote something very, very kind, and I remember the image you shown us just reading her text. So it's a very beautiful thing she made. And yes, the parallel between the entire world and the nature is quite well explained, because the feeling is present. So we have the interior world. The fact of falling in love is something very deep inside this entire world. So we have something very deep and something very open.
Very
And
good.
this is
Yes,
the
I
kind of
agree.
yes, very open, because they're high, and this is a place maybe in which some people can be more able to fall in love in some so beautiful condition. It's
Okay.
easier to fall in love there than to fall in love in a bar full of people. It's different.
And
This is
then,
the condition of the
right.
landscape make it able to happen something.
So the condition, so she reveals that the condition of the landscape, I love that point, makes this opening possible.
Yes.
All right, so let me hold you there. So let's think about what Catherine said. And I'll go back to Barbara. But she
Yes.
says at a certain point, did they fall in love with nature or with each other? Or did they just lose themselves in nature and find themselves again? What about, I mean, that's a kind of a twist to the whole story, I think.
Yeah, I think that there is this sort of relation between the feelings and the nature, and the feeling towards nature that accentuate this correlation. I saw the image that I saw is not only the painting. She gives us this sort of idea of majestic nature that reflects the feeling as we are feeling them. And I saw another point of English romanticism, this sort of idea of sublime.
Okay, good.
Because of how she describes the nature and how they get overwhelmed in front of nature, so they get overwhelmed with their own feelings. That's how.
That's good. That's good. You've added another thing that wasn't written in that comment about romanticism, but that we had studied with on the sublime. There is this thing about losing yourself within nature, but there, as you say, there's kind of I don't know, an encounter between the loss of yourselves in nature and the loss of yourselves in love.
Yeah, this correlation between losing themselves in front of the majestic is sort of the same as feeling overwhelmed because of love towards someone, not only nature.
Very good, very good. And Hanshu, is there any other point that you found in this piece?
No, not yet. But actually, to be honest, I feel like hard to get involved in a piece such emotional, such a romantic.
It's difficult for you to get involved in such an emotional piece.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's hard to me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why is that?
What?
Why?
You're at, because I prefer to. I like stories more. How do we say that? More peaceful.
Okay, so
more
you would say
narrative.
More distant from emotional states.
Okay, you could say that, but I respect it. Okay, that's something I'm not able to do, but I respect.
Okay.
So I
respect. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so we would say that you're not a romanticist.
I'm not.
Okay, and Wang Yini, did you find any points of within this piece?
I agree with these students.
Interpretation.
Yes, that there is a relationship between the person and the nature, and for me it is a romantic story, and I never considered this work could be like this.
Ah, okay. So there you have it. So when you, I mean, so that's interesting. You know, we see these works of arts, that painting, for example, and then each one has a different way of seeing it, right?
Yes.
And Yang Rue, did you find any of the points in here? Nobody talked about spontaneity, for example, or whatever, creativity over logic.
Can I say something?
Who is? Can I say something?
Valeria.
Valeria, yes, please.
Yeah, I thought about spontaneous and logic. So
Good.
I think that the parallelism, or she compared the nature with the love. So when she said that the people lost in nature, so in love, and often they didn't find themselves again. I thought that it's a spontaneous act, and the logic isn't well.
Okay, so
So
right. Yes, I understand what you're saying. So you're saying it's this losing themselves is something that's spontaneous and it has nothing to do with logic.
yeah, but I think that the people know that some other people didn't find themselves, but doesn't matter, because the love and the nature are more important than logic and the other thing, rational thing.
Yes. So it's more important losing yourself
Yeah,
within
exactly.
nature than which is completely illogical, as you say, because
Yeah.
you just abandon yourself, then to stay on the logical side and not take that, I don't know, that step.
Yeah. So I like so much the end of this poem.
Yes,
Yeah.
no one knows the answers, but people often
Yeah,
get lost
exactly.
in them. Right.
Mhm.
Very good. Very good. Very
Thank
good. Okay. Let's go on to the poem. Let's read imagism first. So we just have spoken about romanticism. And if you study English literature, the way things are written, especially if we base ourselves on poetry, let's see, in the world of poetry, English literature has been sort of divided into moments when the poems were written in a certain way. Okay, so we have just done a brief look at Romanticism. After Romanticism, then there's the Victorian age, blah blah blah. We're not interested in this. Here we are at the moment of Imagism. Okay, and this is early 20th century poetic movement. And let's look at this. And while you read this, and you take your notes again, think of it in comparison to the world of haikus. Okay, so I would like Salvatore to read now.
Okay. Imagines is a early 20th century poetic movement that originated in England and America.
Salvatore, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the pronunciation is imagism.
Imagism, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Imagism is an early 20th century poetic movement that originated in England and America. As a movement against Romanticism and Victorian poetry, imagisms focused on the evocative stretch or image and the clarity of expression rather than ornate poetic diction and matter.
Okay, so let's everybody, let's write that down. So evocative strength of images. That's the first one. And I'll write it too because I didn't write this yet. All right. And clarity of expression. Okay. Wang Ini, continue, please.
Yes. In 1908, the English philosopher and poet T.E. Hulme spoke of poetry based on an accurate presentation of subjects without an excessive use of words. He wrote that the language of poetry is a visual concrete one. Images in verse are not mere decoration, but the very essence.
Okay, good. Now let's take some more notes. So poetry based on accurate presentation of subjects. So let's say poetry without an excessive use of words. And he goes on to the images in verse are not mere decoration, but the very essence. So images are the essence of poetry. All right, let's continue. Catherine?
Elsa Pound defined the image as that which represents an intellectual and emotional complex in an instant of time. He added, it is the presentation of such a complex instantaneously which gives the sense of sudden liberation, a sense of freedom from time limits and space limits, a sense of student growth which we experience in the presence of the greatest works of art.
Okay, so there is our last point. The image as an intellectual and emotional complex in an instant in time. We have to have that whole thing, but we have to understand what that means. So write that down. The image as an intellectual and emotional complex in an instant of time. Okay, so let me come back to you to see if we understand these things. Okay, so we have the evocative strength of images. So that means that basically the poem is really concentrates on how much just an image can be expressive, maybe of a feeling or whatever, all of these different things that are inside of us that we don't have to explain through the poetry, but we just have to represent with an image. Then The next point, clarity of expression. So what does that mean? So if we go back to there, let's no, I'll do that later. If we think of the poem that we read last week, Barbara read it for us. Was that very clear? All of that really ornate language. I mean, it was beautiful, but for us, right, as 21st century people,
Suggestive but not clear.
okay, it's suggestive, as she says, but it's not clear. Maybe for somebody in when was that written? I kind of remember. Was it the 17 or the 1800s, Barbara? Do you remember?
18th, if
Okay.
I'm not wrong.
All right. So maybe for people in those times, that was quite revolutionary. Maybe it was quite clear. But for us already, when I mean, I'm sure, especially you, I mean, I studied this in university, so I'm used to reading these types of things. But for a first-time reader of those types of things, it seems quite complex. And if you're not even an English speaker, it's even more complex. So they're saying clarity of expression. That means you're reducing the material of language so that it's just the essence. Okay, just the most specific and vibrating words that you can use to represent this image. Okay. Clarity of expression, poetry without an excessive use of words, images as the essence of poetry. And the last thing that Ezra Pound says is the image as an intellectual and emotional complex in an instant of time. Huh. What does that mean?
Teacher, this,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this, the last wrote by Pond,
Yes.
it's a description of a photography. Image as an intellectual and emotional complex with an instant of time. The photography is exactly doing this.
You're right. You're right. It also is, it's not only, so that's very interesting, because if you consider it, Catherine, this movement of imagism basically develops along this within the same time as photography and even impressionism. We're all representing this instant in time. And this instant in time is also being reduced to in the description of it. So she says it's like a definition of photography. Does anybody else want to say what he's talking about? An intellectual and emotional complex in an instant in time. What are we talking about here? It's kind of difficult, I know. Georgia Caggiano, have you thought about it?
I have no idea.
Okay. How about Sara Onofrieti?
I think it's like capturing a specific moment, but it's not like a real moment. It's an intellectual one. It does make sense.
That kind of makes sense, yes. I would go, well, okay, before I say anything, does anybody else, how about you, Zhang Na? Do you have an idea also? Do you want to add something to what Sara Onofrieti said?
Yes, and I have strong feelings about this sentence. And I think the meaning of this sentence in the imagism poetry is exactly like the photograph do. And it uses the shortest words and sentence to describe the moment. And the moment contains space and a period of time, but it's like
condensed,
complex together.
Together.
Yes,
okay.
In a very short thing.
So, okay, so this condensation, right, holds within it both an intellectual and emotional experience that we cannot actually describe or explain, but it's within the work of art. It's that vibration, that kind of How can you say? It hits us. We feel it. All right. So let's go on to read the poem. So the poem is, Here the Grass Grows. So I'll have Yang Rue read it.
Okay, I'm start. Here the grass grows, here and the wind blows, and in the stem, a small fish gleam, blood red and hood. I don't know the words.
Okay, blood red and hue.
Hued, of shadowed blue, and amber sheen, and water green, and yellow flesh, and diamond ash, and the glass grows, and the wind blows.
Okay, so let's go back over it again. So I have, I'd like to hear, so that's the way she read it. Okay, I'd like to hear another, because when you read something, you're interpreting what you read, and you give expression. So we have Yang Rue's interpretation of this. Let me have somebody else. Let's see. How about Sara Onofrieti? Bye.
Okay. Here the grass grows, and the wind blows, and in the stream small fishes gleam, blood red and hue of shadowy blue, and amber sheen and water green, and a yellow flash and diamond ash. And the grass grows, and the wind blows.
Okay, so very good, both of you. The first thing that we can notice, well, it's not the first thing, it's something that's come to my mind at this moment, is the sound of the poem. Were you all aware of the rhyme? Glows, stream, gleam, hue, blue, sheen, green. Did you all hear that? Did you hear that, Sara?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
The sound here is very important.
Good. All right. Let's start. We have our sound, which is very important. Let's look at some other things. But before we look at some of the other things, let's be sure that we understand the words. So let me stay with Sara. Do you know the meaning of gleam?
Yes, is like shine, like small bright light, something like that.
Yes, it's to shine. And do you remember the definition of hue?
Yeah, it's a tone, a color.
Okay, color, right. All right, and then we have sheen, amber sheen. What is that? Oh, wait, first amber. What is amber?
Is a type of color.
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
Right, it's a type of color. It's also a substance, right? It's a fossilized resin. But he's using it to talk about a color. And what do you know? Can you describe this color?
It's like I think the red. I remember ambra is a red.
Or a honey.
Honey. Yes.
It's like a honey color. Okay. And sheen.
Is shine again?
It's right. It's okay. So it's very close to gleam.
Yes.
It's brightness. It's the brightness, but on a surface. You say that a surface has a sheen. Okay. All right. And what else do we have? This is the difficult one. How about ash? Do we know what ash is here?
Yeah, I think it's the type of the wood, the tree. I don't know. Is that? Because I searched because I didn't have an idea what ash
Very
means.
good. Very good. Because I'm sure I was wondering if everybody was just going to say, oh, this must be ash like cenere. But she's right. It's a tree.
It's a
It's the
tree.
ash
Okay.
tree. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, excellent work. You see, Sada did her homework. Okay, no. All right. Now, let me torture you some more, Sada.
No problem.
Okay, these first two lines, here the grass grows and the wind blows, right?
Mm.
Do we find these two lines again?
Yes, at the end.
Okay. All right, so we have them at the beginning and we have
Yeah.
them at the end. What happens between these two lines? So not only Sarah, I'm going to be asking other people. In your opinion, what happens between these two lines?
It's like a specific moment in which the grass grows and the wind blows. But in the meantime, is there is I don't know, a small river, and where there are fishes that are shining, and
So you're saying it's an experience of images.
yes, yes, because a
Okay.
specific moment that is this the description is on the top and the end. So in the middle, something is happening in that specific moment. So it's an images that we can actually see. No.
Okay. So she says it's an experience of images within a specific moment. All right. Is there another experience within this between these four lines, Barbara? In your opinion?
Yes, I see sort of like this poem like kind of a song, a musicality of the nature itself, as if, I don't know, it's the wind that's blowing. And I see this image of a song, even in the fact that the first two lines repeat themselves at the end, like a chorus. And
Right.
the image that I see is the description of nature, also through color, or describing color through nature. So this parallel, and I don't know.
Okay. So one second, because you said a few interesting things. So you said a song, and because the fact that we have the first two lines and the second two lines repeated reminds us sometimes of the refrain. It's called a refrain in a song.
Refrain,
okay?
yes.
That it's repeated. Very interesting. But the fact that you talked about song also makes me think of what Sarah said at the beginning of these rhyming lines. There's also the sound.
A musicality. It has a musicality. That's why it reminds me of a song. And since the first line, the second line is the wind blows, it makes me think of the wind blowing as the musicality of this nature that we are talking about, describing.
Okay, very good. So let's say, so Sada has told us an experience of images. You have told us that an experience of let's see, it's a sensorial experience, right? It relates to our sensations of what is going around us within these images, and also of sound. Okay, you're hearing these things well because of the okay. And you also said one other thing. You talked about color. I think that this is also an experience of color.
Also sensorial in this way, because it's describing colors through nature and nature through color. So I think that's also the thing we were saying with the imagism, and the fact that it's like it's not stripped of the emotional side, but it's not only a description of reality. It is more complex, but it's more clear. It comes to our in it happens faster, kind of.
It happens faster and it kind of hits us and unconsciously. It hits that unconscious region. Because it's not explaining anything, it's just hitting us. Or I don't know if hitting is the right word. Okay, so
add something to this. Sorry.
Yes, who's speaking?
Zhang Na.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, these two sentences also refers to I think, the time, the periods of time.
Yeah.
It's a period of time, not a moment for me, because when the grass grows, then the wind can blow them. And the fact he repeated in the end of the poetry, it kind of means every year the grass grows again, and the wind always blows them when the grass grows. And it's like
very good
of a period of time. A circle.
Yes. Zhang Na, so you come already to where I'm kind of wanted everybody to arrive. Excellent work. So let me stay with Zhang Na here. So we say the wind blows, the grass grows, and the wind blows. All right, and then we end it with the grass grows and the wind blows. So it's almost as if these two lines are kind of like a frame. They frame the moment. So the question is, do they frame a precise moment in time, which is the experience of the poet? Or, as Zhang Na says, the fact that, and also if we refer to Barbara about this refrain, a refrain is something that brings you back to where you started. So it's as if it's a cycle, and it's not only an exact moment in time, but something that is continuous.
It's
so let me come back to you.
Because time is endless.
What did you say, Zhang Na?
It has the meaning of endless, and time is endless.
Okay. And so even this experience, through the poet, it becomes endless for us? Is that possible?
Yes. Our life is limited, but we can, in this moment, we can have the feeling of endless.
Very beautiful. Catherine, what do you say about that? Catherine?
I'm quite perplexed because I see an image. I don't see infinity of a cycle that go back, and I don't see a refrain in that repetition. For me, it's more simple because we're talking about a poem of imagism. So maybe, I can be wrong, but maybe in the image, it's just the moment in the image. So the spring, just this moment in the spring, and we have as an image a green, all the colors we can see in the poem, and green again. It's just a piece of the ground.
Okay, so
when I said it, I think it's a description of a photography. If it's a photography, it's just a piece of the ground with the grass, and the stream in the middle, and a lot of other colors.
So Catherine, you embrace the idea of the first two lines as being as like a type of frame around the image.
Yes, as an abstract painting. It can be a photography of the ground or an abstract painting with just lines.
Okay, so that's so all right. And
maybe my vision is more little. I don't know.
It's smaller. All right. This is what. Yes, that's what. No, there's no question of being right or wrong because that's the beauty of talking about these types of things, because we can see it in many ways. So, and that was the thing that was actually fixed in my mind. Is this kind of like a frame, or is it a moment of? It's an eternal moment because it's continuous. Let's see if anybody else can add to it.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I thought about that Catherine and Zanja said. Thank you.
Jangna. Yes.
Thank you. I think that could be both, because the first line, two first line, maybe describe the grass, but the grass grew up slow. So meanwhile the grass grew up, the poet describe the piece of the ground, and the last two confirm the first two sentence. And this rhythmic couplet amplify the eternal cycle, but maybe could be one instant. So for me, it's both of them. It's both of versions.
It's both of them.
Sorry?
It's both of them, as you say. That's what
Yeah,
your opinion is.
yeah.
It's not one or the other. It's kind of both together.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. All right, good. And Sarah, you were, I saw you waving, you know, doing
Yeah,
something with your there.
because I think it can be, because it's a frame, but it can be a moment that now is a specific moment, but it doesn't mean that it's not something that you can see in other period of the year. So I think it can be both, actually.
Okay.
It makes sense, actually.
There's one thing that I have to put in Jung Na's favor. And it's the line, and, because at the beginning, let's just look at it. It's just a tiny little detail. Okay, so it says, here the grass grows and the wind blows. It begins like that. So, all right, so let's go back to Catherine and the rest of you that say that maybe it's a fixed moment, and then other people say maybe it's both. Right, because it's here. But at the end, it says, and the grass grows and the wind blows. This and here means that it's a cycle, I think. It points to the fact that the grass continues to grow and the wind continues to blow. However, if we go back to what Catherine was saying, this moment, right, described here is a moment. What makes it cyclical, maybe in my opinion, is the fact that he gives it to us so that it's eternal. What do you think? No? Yes?
But he said at the top, he said, here the grass grows. So I don't know, for me, here means that it is a specific moment. So I don't know, it might, maybe because he lived that moment.
Right. You're right. You're right. Anyway, it's wonderful when you get into all of these, you know, it appears to be just a very simple description, right? However, if you go into it, it gives you what Brown said, that intellectual and emotional complex, which is something that is not really describable. But if you consider this poem, right, these words, they're very concise, and they lead you right to this image. And then you consider what we read last week. Do you see the difference? What happens after 100 years in between one poem and the next?
Yeah. Yes. There is a selection of the word to simplify them and clear. It's like the poetry try to describe themselves itself, so in the best way possible.
Okay, very good.
Or,
but okay, so
oh, sorry.
Yes.
Or maybe the description of the essence of the object is like give the imagination of the lector, because before everything was written.
Good.
So you don't have any imagination, you have an image.
Okay, so let's say 3 points for Valeria. That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point, because if you consider we've arrived at this point with imagism to the place where the reader's imagination has space to express.
It's like the poet asking some question to us, like it's an eternal cycle, it's a instant, where is this grass here that is. It's like that.
It's up to us to kind of he's leaving the let's say the creative experience also to us as well as readers. So okay, so I'm going on and on with this, but I just have to show you something about our last lesson to make you consider this change from that poem that we read last week to this poem. And you can even think about it in terms of visual art. So let's just look, where is it now? Is it here? This is English romanticism. Oh, it's here. Oh, yeah. So think about this. The thistledown's flying, though the winds are still. On the green grass now lying, now mounting the hill. The spring from the fountain now boils like a pot. Through stones past the counting, it bubbles red hot. Okay, so we have the sounds, right? Like in that other poem. But we have so many other words that tell us exactly what we're supposed to see. Because if you just said green grass on the hill, all right, that's not very poetic. But anyway, you have to create an image of that. If you have on the green grass now lying, now mounting the hill, he's telling you exactly this green grass lying on the hill and going up the hill. Okay, so that's just an example of how the language changes, right? But if you think about it in the visual arts, okay, look at Turner. Look at our man Turner. Okay, he starts with this. This is one of his first paintings. And then what does he do? He goes on to this. So already, if you compare, here we have, he's telling us, okay, you have an ancient ruin here, you have a lake, you have trees, you have people, and then you even have their, I don't know, maybe these are urns full of wine, you have the goats and whatnot.
Teacher,
and they're, hello?
Teacher, excuse me,
Yes.
but maybe are you telling us that this kind of poem we just read is a kind of abstraction in literature?
Well, maybe. We're getting there.
Maybe.
Okay. And then we go on to this. All right. So already he's limiting these descriptive elements. All right. He's giving us a little bit of this of a ruin here, but we can't really see it. And we see the people. We can understand that this woman here, if you can see it, I don't know, is experiencing the nature. She's in the middle of the nature and blah, blah, blah. And then if we go on to the next slides. So here we're perceiving even less what man's intervention in nature. Maybe this is a bridge. Yes, it is. And here's a boat, but we're seeing it even less. Then he goes on to, oops, excuse me. This one. All right, this is all in chronological order. We're still seeing maybe an element here. Towards the end, Turner arrives to this. you're looking at this image and it's not hitting your the intellectual side of your brain that's telling you this is a boat, this is a man, this is a building. But it's hitting another side of your brain, which makes you have to, as who was it who said it before? In which you have to, Marilena, it's your imagination that brings something to this.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yes. Who said that? Marilena or Catherine?
Marilena.
Okay. Oh, could I repeat the question? Sorry. All right. So if we look at these, even the change that goes through Turner and his art, right? We arrive at this image in which the intellectual side of our brain, right, doesn't make us say, okay, here is a boat, here is a woman, here is a man, and here is an ancient ruin. We're going towards another part of our brain, which makes us have to put meaning in it or use our imagination. So, Catherine, what were you saying before? The process of abstraction?
Yes, because when you read again the poem of the last time, it was full of description, and it's the common in this century in the literature. Romance was very descriptive. You can read a text and make a trip in the past because everything is very clear and the image are obvious. And the poem we just read this morning, we have to use more imagination maybe to get it. It's less clear. So I think it's common in abstraction. You have to imagine what is it inside.
All right.
Because
imagine or maybe experience it.
Yes, maybe.
Okay. So I'm sorry, what I didn't mean to say Marilena the other time. I wanted to say Valeria, because it was Valeria who had said about it makes you have to use your imagination to experience it.
Yeah, I thought about when I was younger. I study Romanticism art and about English literature. And I remember that there were two artists, Turner and Constable, and the literature compared to artists because Constable is more descriptive than Turner. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. So let's just go over the grammar now. And then I'll have you take a break. Okay, so last week when we were looking at the modals of deduction, we looked at can't have plus the past participle. So we've already reviewed this part of the can't when we use can't have and the past participle. But I would like you to consider it in relation to needn't have plus the past participle. Okay? And let's start reading with Hanshu. Can't have plus the past participle. Let's go over it.
Okay. Can have plus past participle. It is used when we are definitely sure that something did not happen. Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
It is true. Okay. Not example. It is used when we are definitely sure that something did not happen in the past, or we believe that something was impossible in the past. Example, her car is still in the garage. She can't have left the house yet, which means she always takes her car, so I'm sure that she has definitely not left the house because her car is in the garage.
Okay, continue.
Continue. He can't have escaped through this window. It's too small.
Okay, so stop 1 second, Hanshu. So I want Hanshu, Barbara, Salvatore, Wang, Ini to think of examples of, no, not Hanshu. I want Barbara, Salvatore, Wang, Ini, and Catherine to think of examples with can't have while Hanshu is reading the examples. Okay, continue. Hanshu?
He can't have been at the meeting. He's on business trip this week. Continue.
Yes.
They can't have both these things today because the shops are closed. She can't have said that. She can't have said that. She's a kind and well-mannered person.
Okay, so while Barbara, Salvatore, and Wang Yini and Catherine are thinking of examples with can't have and the past participle, I want Hanshu to rephrase the last sentence. She can't have said that. She is a kind and well-mannered person. How can you rephrase that without in another way?
She can't have said that in another way.
Yes, say it in another way and use because.
Oh, use because?
Yeah.
He's a kind and well-mannered person. Shows. No, because no. Wait.
Okay. Right,
she can't have said that.
No. You have to say in other words. You have to in other words instead of can't have said.
In other words, that's that. Wait a minute. She can't have said that.
Yeah. You have to eliminate that and say it in another way.
Oh, well, she can't have said that.
All right. 1 second, Hanshu.
Surrender.
1 second. 1 second. So I'll have you do another one, and I'll just show you what I'm thinking of, what I want you to do.
Okay.
All right. So the phrase, the sentence is, she can't have said that. She is a kind and well-mannered person. And I say to rephrase that, eliminating can't have said, but saying it in the same way and using because. So I'm giving you a complicated task. This is how I would do it. It's not possible that she said that because she is a kind and well-mannered person. You understand?
Yes, so it's not a participle anymore.
No, I just wanted you to give me the sense of it. Right. All right, so let's see. Let's try and do they can't have bought these things today because the shops are closed.
Okay, it is not possible that they bought this thing today because the shops are closed.
Okay. All right. So that's
okay. Should I repeat? It is not possible. It is impossible that they bought this thing today because the shops are closed. Hello, Professor? Hello?
Barbara.
Oh.
Sorry, I was writing my sentence.
Okay. All right. So let me ask, are you ready or should I go on to Salvatore and I'll get you back to you afterwards?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, I wrote, he can't have been home because I saw him shopping grocery this morning.
Shopping for groceries?
For groceries.
Very good. Okay. Salvatore?
He can't have cleared the room because he went on holiday this weekend.
Okay, so both Salvatore and Barbara are talking always about men. He. One, Ini?
He can't have.
He can't. Okay, another he.
Okay, she.
Oh, she. All right.
Okay, she can't have spoken any words because she has a sore throat.
or because she lost her voice?
Yes.
Okay, because sometimes you can have a sore throat and you can speak, but if you lose your voice
Okay.
because you have a cold. Okay. And
Yes.
Catherine?
I wrote,
Oh.
we can't have done this because if we would, it would be, it would have been better done.
So we can't have done this because if we had, it would
If
have
we
been.
had, if we would.
That's a
we
complex
had-
sentence. Excuse me.
It would have been better done.
Yes, very good, very good. Okay, let's go on to the other one. Needn't have. Barbara, could you read, please?
Yes. Needn't have plus past participle. If we say that somebody needn't have done something, we mean that the action is done, but it was unnecessary and even a waste of time. Examples. You needn't have washed the windows, as I was going to do that tomorrow. After the party, I realized that you needn't have cooked so much food, as most of it was untouched. Yesterday, my friend had already bought 2 tickets for the concert, so you really needn't have bought another one. It was a waste of money. Marta worked all the weekend to finish her assignment on time, but actually she needn't have done so. The bus arrived 2 minutes after you left, so you needn't have taken a taxi.
Very good, very good. So this is kind of, we're getting a bit complex here, complex grammar. So let's see. Barbara, can you rephrase the last one? The bus arrived 2 minutes after you left, so you needn't have taken a taxi.
So you didn't have to, or
you didn't have to.
I'm
It
thinking
wasn't
it was
necessary.
unnecessary.
Oh, right. So the bus arrived 2 minutes after you left. So it wasn't necessary. So taking a taxi, you can even use a gerund here. So taking a taxi wasn't necessary.
Wasn't necessary. Okay.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so I'm going to give all of you. No, let's see. So I want Yang Rue, Hanshu to give us to write 2 examples, and anybody else if they want to.
I already wrote one.
Who is I already? Barbara?
Yes.
Okay, let me hear Barbara's, and then Hanshu and Yang Yue.
I wrote, you needn't have gone to his house that early. He was fine by himself.
That is a very interesting.
I'm always thinking about complex stories. So.
He was fine by himself. Let's just leave him alone. Okay.
Yes.
Hanshu.
Okay.
Did you think of an example?
Yeah. You needn't have closed the door because I will be back soon.
Okay. Yes. Good.
Okay.
Good.
Because sometimes we just leave the door open and downstairs,
Yeah.
back soon.
Very good.
Makes sense.
Okay. And Yang Rui?
Yeah. My example is you needn't have gone out to pick him up. He's already downstairs.
Because he has already arrived.
Yeah.
No, you have to repeat it correctly.
Oh, yeah, okay. You needn't have gone out to pick him up because he's already downstairs.
No. I corrected you. Because he has already arrived.
Yeah.
So you have to say it correctly now. You understand? Not because he arrived downstairs, because he has already arrived. Or he has...
yeah.
Okay,
right.
so repeat it.
You needn't have gone out to pick him up because he already down there.
Okay, because he's already arrived. He's
already
downstairs.
arrived here. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So let's take a 5-minute break. However, let's see. It's 10:23. Or is it 10:25? Let's say 10:30. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. See you
Okay.
10:30.
Rothko's paintings, it's a kind of blackmail situation. They hold you hostage a little bit.
I took Rothko for granted. And it's only, I think, when I came to the United States that I moved from, okay, Rothko is important because it's written in a book, to, oh, Rothko is important because actually when I am in front of a Rothko, I'm in front of something that for me is difficult to describe if I stick to the conventional parameter of painting.
It's like,
that's what it is. You know, when you look at, you know, a line of the place where the orange meets the red, or, you know, the red meets the blue, or something is happening. And that's this vibration.
And he still believed somehow that color was a better vehicle for communicating interior states of emotion and feeling, and that there could be a kind of universality achieved purely through color.
I mean, that's sort of what Rothko's getting at. It's as if it's existed forever. It's a truth. Musical composition, people can kind of clearly see that there's a practice to that. You don't just sit down and express yourself because it's going to turn out like bang, 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 bang. But somehow people think that that can happen with painting. No. You know, a piano concerto, there are 88 keys. There are an infinite number of colors. Rothko is moving around the color wheel.
There are these kind of moments where one color will peek out from behind another color and disrupt a whole passage, or kind of give some sense of how the color came to be.
I'm always interested in the edges. The painting's not going to go on forever. This life is going on forever. Like, the painting is going like, this is me. And what is outside of me? His brushstroke turns the corner. It does not go off. It turns the corner. It's like the edge of the painting is a force field that's pressing on the interior of the painting.
They're a little bit greedy, and they ask for you to kind of be there with them in order to get something more than, oh, it's a red plane of color, or it's blue. To do something more than that, I think, takes some real presence.
I can actually stare at it until I empty myself of actually feelings, until I am only interested in the color that are in front of me, or the emotional, psychological space that I am in.
You know what you're seeing, but I think the longer you spend looking at them.
Let's continue the lesson. So I'll have Salvatore begin to read.
Okay.
Just 1 second. Okay. Oh, wait, 1 second. All right. So as I told you at the beginning of the course, when I used to do the lessons at school, not online, this was before the COVID pandemic, I would always organize a field trip to, for example, Villa Panza or someplace else. And I would incorporate that trip into a project. This year, I would like to not do a trip, but to bring you to the theater. So we'll be studying the set design and what are the thoughts of Robert Wilson, and from the 3rd to the 6th of February, there will be a theatrical performance designed by Robert Wilson at Teatro della Pergola in Florence. And so I would like to bring a group of you, if you're interested, to see this performance. And the Academy will pay for the tickets. Okay? So.
Good. Very good.
It's nice, right? I would say that the group will have to be not more than 30, 35. So we'll just have to figure out who's in Florence, who is interested. Zara says she's interested. Good. Okay, good. All right. In the meantime, if you're kind of interested in this experience, you can look at the Jungle Book. I'll write it in the chat. So, Jungle Book by Robert Wilson. All right. So that way you can have an idea of what we're going to see if we're able to do this, right? I'm sure that we'll be able to do it because, and obviously you'll have to have your green pass. To get into a theater, you need to have your FP2 mask and a green pass. Okay?
Teacher, excuse me, I missed the beginning. When it will be this spectacle?
Okay, so Catherine, I was just saying that in the past, I would take my students always on a field trip to see something, right? And then to incorporate a project around that, some creative writing regarding what we go to see. This year, since I cannot take you on a field trip someplace, I would like to take you as a group to the theater to see the theatrical work by The Jungle Book by Robert Wilson, which will be performed from the 3rd to the 6th of February, at Teatro della Pergola in Florence.
Okay, but it's an evening. It's an evening show.
It depends on the day that we go.
Okay.
Because, for example, I'm not sure. Is the 6th? Does anybody know if the 6th is a Sunday? Can somebody look?
Yes.
It's a Sunday.
Yes.
I think, for example, on the Sunday, the performance is at 4 in the afternoon. However, just let me check one thing quickly on my, because I wrote a letter to the to Teatro della Pergola, and they answered me saying, let's see. Gentilissima professoressa, saremo felici di accogliervi al Teatro della Pergola. Le segnalo i prezzi ridotti per gli studenti, però dal giovedì al sabato. Ok, platea €21, palco 18, galleria €13. So it's from Thursday to Saturday. She did not include the Sunday one. So I guess it will be in the evening.
Okay, thank you. So I can't because I sleep in Modena. So.
Oh, you live in Modena?
Yes.
Oh. And you don't have some friends that you can stay with in Florence?
No, they're all in residence. I can't. No, they are not in their own home. They are in residence.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. So everybody think about that and think about if you're interested, if you'll be in Florence at that time. Okay? All right. So let's share the screen.
Sorry.
Okay, great.
I have a question about the
Yes.
grammar part.
Yes, good. What is your question?
About needn't have plus part past participle. The second part of the sentence, like so blah 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 because blah blah blah. It have to go. It have to have to. Sorry.
The second part, okay, but let me let you finish.
Sorry, I'm tired. Okay, the second part, it must be with past simple or another verb.
That's where it gets complicated, Valeria. It depends on how you phrase it.
Like, for example,
right. Give me an
we
example.
Didn't okay
Yes.
have bought her a new pair of shoes because she's a dog. Is present. Is
That's a very interesting sentence.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, you needn't have bought her a new pair of shoes because she is a dog.
Yeah, is present. She is,
yes,
because
okay.
she was a dog is very sad.
No,
So
it's right.
It's right. So
yes. Although
okay.
I'm just trying to imagine the situation. So what this sentence makes me laugh because I'm imagining that somebody, all right, knows that okay, Adoya. In Adoya's house, there is someone who is called I don't know, Maggie. All right. And so this person says, I want to give Adoya a present for Maggie. Okay. And this person assumes that Maggie is a girl. And so she buys some shoes for Maggie. She even says, this person says, how old is Maggie? And I say, well, Maggie's 10. So she thinks that Maggie's a little girl that's 10 years old. Is this a situation of your?
Okay. Yeah.
So she comes and she brings me these shoes for a little girl that is 10 years old. And then I say, you needn't have bought these shoes for Maggie because Maggie is a dog.
Yeah, exactly. So the present is correct for the situation.
Yes, but it's an incredible situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's share the screen.
Thank you.
Okay. Salvatore.
Okay. I sold the combustion painting by Alberto Burri in order to buy the Rothko paintings.
Okay, stop 1 second, Salvatore. The word that you just read before paintings is most often pronounced incorrectly. Okay.
I know.
So when you have to pronounce the two letters th.
Rothko.
Oh, that's better. You have to put your tongue between your teeth and you go Rothko.
Okay,
Rothko. Bravo. Bye.
Rothko. It was not a painting from one of his best periods, but it was the only Burri in the collection. I greatly esteem this artist for the success created in the 1950s a great quality work, true masterpiece. I wanted to buy one, but they were too expensive, way above my means.
Stop. What is the meaning of way above my means?
It's cost too much
Excellent.
for
Okay.
my
And
financial.
yes, for my financial situation. And esteem, what does that mean?
A good opinion, a good opinion, a greatly opinion of
Okay, so
of
there's
that
also
artist.
right. It's within this this concept of opinion. There's in the word esteem. There's also respect and
Okay.
admiration. Okay, very good. Let's see. Wang Yini, continue. He had been.
Yes, he had been very successful in America. I remember that his works cost 5 million lire. Nothing in comparison to the billions that they are worth today. The
Okay,
highest
stop. What is the meaning of to be worth?
there no there's price or value.
Okay, good. Catherine, continue.
The highest price that I had paid for a work of art in that period was 500,000 lire for Vedova paintings, 10 times less than the Bury pieces. Prices are always relative to the money one has and also to the moment when the money is necessary.
Okay. So we're talking about lire. That's the money that we used in Italy before Italy became a part of the Europe. I mean, before the European Union established that we all would use euro. What are the points here? The most important points. Let's see. He says okay, let's think of the first one. He sells one painting in order to buy another painting. Okay, that's our first point, because we're talking about what does a collector do? So he, as a collector, this is Giuseppe Panza, he sells one painting in order to buy another painting. So let's ask ourselves, why would a collector sell one painting to buy another painting? What are some of the reasons? Hanshu?
Because the painting he extends to buy is very expensive. Okay, could be one of the reasons. Okay.
No, wait a second. Wait, that's not really a reason.
Really?
Well, I don't know if that's a reason. Okay, so he says, okay, so you're a collector, right? You sell one painting in order to buy another painting. And you say you do that because the painting is, one of the paintings is very expensive. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. The painting he sold is not the one he likes so much, maybe. And
no, but what did you say before? Which was
before I said the painting he purpose painting is very expensive, so he need to the buy the sold is all about investment. So I think
okay, so you're saying, wait, now I think I understand you better. So you're saying the question is, why does he sell one painting to buy another painting? What are some of the reasons? So your reasoning is, okay, so one painting has accumulated worth, right? If you sell it, you can get a good profit and you can be able to buy something else. Is that what you're saying at first?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good. Good. So one thing is, okay, making profit and buying something else. Another reason, Barbara?
I think it's value, because we talked about esteem, something above my means, the worth. So I think is valuing in this moment Rothko as something that he needs in his collection. So he has to do something to get this Rothko, and maybe.
Okay, wait. Excuse me, Barbara. So you're saying that he had bought Buri in the past, and now Rothko was something that he was becoming more important to him. So he had to sell the Buri in order to buy the Rothko.
Because I think that a collector has to select, and maybe you have to choose, even if you like many paintings, many pieces, you have to choose. And maybe in this time he wanted the Rothko, he valued the Rothko more, even though he said that Buri was the only pieces of Buri he had in his collection. So it's not an easy thing to do, to sell it.
Right. So, okay. So if we combine what you said, what Hanshu said, and with what you said, they're both connected. All right. So this collector, right, has to decide, right, and his decision is based on money.
I think so. Yes.
Okay. All right. And then, so the collector has to decide. The decision is based on the money that you have, because then he says, way above my means. So what you buy is determined by how much money you have. Isn't that true, Hanshu?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay. But let's say, and then, so what you buy is determined by how much money you have, and also your esteem as a collector. If you're an enlightened collector like Panza was a person who had this incredible taste and vision in appreciating works of art. Some people who claim that they are collectors, they have other people choose the works of art for them. So here we're talking also about taste, no? And vision, because what you if you're starting out as a collector, let me come back to you. So let's say all of you are starting, you would like to buy works of art. If you buy works of art, they say, most people say that is the best investment that you can make if you're able to do it well, because you have to have the vision to understand what will become famous in the future. Panza once said that investing in art meant having to wait at least 10 to 20 years before you can know if people really appreciate that type of art. What do you think? Is that reasonable? It's interesting, I find. Huh?
It's a type of investment. It's like Bitcoin or the infrastructure. I think that it's another way for rich people to spend money.
Okay, but
I don't think so.
Valeria says, I don't think so.
And
oh my gosh!
The artists try to grab this occasion. Non mi viene.
But wait a second, Salvatore. Excuse me for interrupting you. You say it's occasion for rich people to grab an occasion, but think about it. It's not only rich people, because most of you are artists, right? Are you?
It's for.
Wait, Salvatore. How much have you ever sold a work of art, a painting or something?
No, because I don't have money.
No, it's not that you don't. Have you ever sold you to someone else?
Sold. Okay.
One of your works.
No, because I'm not famous or
Nah. Come on now. Somebody has sold a work of art here, even if it's to your grandmother or your aunt. Hanshu, have you ever sold a piece of work?
No, not yet.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Come on. Somebody has
I
sold something.
I refuse to sell something.
Oh, so Catherine is a purist.
Because
he refuses to sell. No, my work, no.
Two very good
I'm
reasons.
teasing you. I'm teasing you.
Yeah, I know. The first one,
right.
because I wanted to keep it for me first.
She wants to keep everything for herself.
And the second, I have no idea of the price I can ask.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's
So, all right.
important. I'm not able to value my work. And when someone said, "Oh, I like this marble work you made. I want to have it." Yes, so do I. So I keep it for me. I said, maybe I will make you a copy in plaster if you want a copy in plaster, but the original in marble, I keep it for me. It's my work in academy. I want to keep it. So I don't know. Right. I don't even know how to make a price for the copy in plaster.
Okay. So there you have it. So wait a second. So she is a case where she doesn't want to sell her work, but somebody said to her, "I really like that. I would like to buy that." Okay, so let's say that she doesn't want to just keep all of her work and she sells it. Let's say that we can say you're nobody now, not because you're nobody, but no, in the sense that you're not famous.
I am nobody.
No. So she's not famous. So she sells the work. And she sells it to somebody who isn't rich, right? And she sells it for 600 euro. 600 euro. Now, let's say 20 years from now, Catherine becomes quite famous. The person who bought her work, Salvatore, even though they're not rich, sells Catherine's work for 6,000 euro to someone else because Catherine is famous. That's the investment. You don't have to be, if you start out and you have this sense that Panza had, because he wasn't so rich when he started collecting. And he bought things that he had the means to buy. And then 10 years later, they became, incredibly expensive. Do you follow, everybody?
If Catherine would, I will be her merchant.
So if Catherine is willing, right, you propose, he's proposing to you, Catherine, to be your agent. But wait a second, Catherine, careful now, careful, because remember we studied the art market. Salvatore, you're an agent. How much do you want as a percentage on the sale? 30, 40, 50%?
At the beginning, consider that Catherine is not famous. I think 10% is honestly.
Catherine,
you're very kind. 10% is very
okay. Okay, so good work, everybody. Good work. Let's continue. So, okay, so we've already talked about, okay, so what determines a collector's choice when selecting a work of art? And why does the value of certain works of art increase with time? So think about these questions. I'm coming back.
Maybe the death of the artist.
Is that the answer to the first question or the second question?
The increase to the value of the work.
So she says that the artist dies.
Yeah, but when the artist is already famous.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. So she says that, but I have to add something to that. So the artist dies, and what if the artist dies and there are only he or she is famous, but there are only a few works of art, like with Basquiat. Huh? Barbara? Turn on your microphone, Barbara.
Sorry. The discussion with Basquiat is a little bit complicated. He didn't even want it to be in this commercial, so it isn't fair to kind of value and sell and capitalize off his work because he didn't want that. So it is a little bit complicated to discuss that and put it in as an example.
Okay.
But I think that it increases the prices of the pieces.
fact that they're not that many.
When they're not that many, it increases a lot.
Is there anything else that increases the price, Barbara?
I don't know, because I was thinking about whether the artist is still alive or not. So that's what we talked about. The condition of the piece, how many pieces there are, how many works of art. Also the subject and the material used, and whether there are some works, some pieces that are more famous than others. So like Panza was saying, we read what Panza was saying. He said that the Bury pieces he had, it wasn't one of his most famous. Maybe if he had the most famous pieces, he wouldn't have sold it. So
okay, but all right. So let's think of another aspect that no one has commented on so far. So in order to be recognized as an artist, doesn't somebody have to write something about you? Doesn't that kind of begin your passage towards becoming famous? Sada?
Yes, an artist needs at least someone, a curator or a historian to write something. So at least one person who esteems the artist.
Okay, so someone who will give him exposure.
Exactly.
Okay.
I
And
also
what was
want to
this?
say something
Yes.
about collectors. I think there are two different collectors. So one, for example, Catherine is a collector in a way because she's collecting her works and artwork but it's true. So there are collectors that buy artworks because they like it. Also, if it's not a famous artist, and the others that they do for investment. So I think that we need to do this difference.
Okay, but
yes, in fact, I'm investing in my own death.
Oh, come on, please. But Sada, I don't think that you have to kind of keep these two things separated, because Panza collected because he really liked it, and then it became his way of earning money. It came together.
Yes, that's true. But I don't know. I think there is also today the collector that they do only for, I don't know, maybe just invest. They like not famous artists, so they don't care about investment and the future. So maybe they can be in the future investor. I don't know, investigator. And but they start with the idea of, okay, I like it, I want to buy it. Don't care.
Right. Good work, everybody. Let's continue. Let's go on to our Rothko.
Prof,
yes.
like a possible future agent of Catherine, I I swear if she became famous, I will kill her personally. So the prize.
I will give the number one of my children to Salvatore.
So we're getting a bit vicious here. You see where money comes in, how people get evil.
No, because my my price is almost 20%.
It's almost 20%. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's continue. So, everyone, this painting, look, Mark Rothko, Red and Brown, 1957, Panza Collection. Panza Collection. Okay, look, we see this painting here. If we go to slide 8 or page 8, okay, let me just show you this little image here at the bottom. This image here is the MoCA Museum of Los Angeles, Museum of Contemporary Art of Los Angeles. And these paintings are from the Panza collection. Why are they in Los Angeles? Because at a certain point, Panza, when he was getting older, he had so many pieces of art and so many valuable pieces of art that he proposed to Italy, I mean, first in Milan and other parts of Italy, to create a museum or an exhibition space for his collection. Okay? And no one in Italy was ready to do that. So all of these fabulous works of arts that were a part of the Panza collection got distributed in America. I mean, the Americans were just so happy to pick up his work in Los Angeles and also in New York and the Guggenheim Museum. If you consider that a painting by Rothko is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, just imagine what this collection is worth. Just to make you consider how the Italian nation was just not prepared to accept his collection, and it just went all off to America and other parts of the world. Okay, so
maybe it wasn't a good moment.
Okay, 1 second. So, who said that? Catherine?
I said
maybe it wasn't a good moment.
The good moment for the country Italy to accept the idea. Maybe the minister of the culture of this moment was incapable.
Does anybody have anything to say about that? Do you agree with her?
I don't know him.
No, we don't know. I mean, I read how many people just refused to even give him a space to put his collection within. Do you think it was just because it wasn't the right moment?
No, I think Italy is not visionary. We can say that.
I kind of agree with Sarah.
I'm Italian, so I know that it happens quite often, something like that. So Italy cannot see the possibility, can see in advance the future possibility.
We have not the right mentality, the right mind, a state of mind to understand the whole of these pieces.
And why is that? Why was Panza? I mean, Panza was Italian.
It's an outsider. It was an outsider.
Panza was an outsider Italian.
No, it was an outsider in the thinking, in the state of mind. Oh. He understood. He was that. That the meaning of the American culture, because Rothko today is like a pop culture.
Not really pop culture. If Rothko heard you say that, he'd be turning in his grave.
But we use the pattern the pattern of Rothko.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of Rothko art everywhere in the clothes, in the architecture. It's for me, it's pop culture.
Huh. Okay, it's become a part of popular culture.
Of the popular, yes.
All right.
But when he started to painting, it was un incompreso.
He was not well
Not
understood.
well, yes.
Even though he became very famous while he was alive. But thinking, okay, I don't want to get into a long conversation about this, but Sara, if you say that Italians are not visionary, do you think it has something to do with the fact that there is so much beauty in Italy?
Yeah, it's
that
like
we get locked in it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in Florence, it's beautiful. You go to Venice, it's so beautiful. Rome, what are you everywhere? Perugia, Siena, whatever. And you just it locks you in. There's not space for something else, maybe?
Yes, that's what I think actually, because it's like I don't know if it's said if it's correct in English. Radicalization, radicalized. Italy is radicalized. We can say that is correct.
Okay, but you have to support it in what way?
Yeah, in our art, in our period of art. So, for example, in Florence, there is not something that can. I don't know, talk about contemporary art, because in Florence we have the Renaissance period, we all have our masterpieces. So I don't know, it's not an open mind. So it's the city, it's the Italy, but here in Florence, it's the city that it doesn't have an open mind for contemporary art. It's now starting, but it's really, really slow. It's a really long process, as it's really, really slow. So I think it's for that, yes, because in everywhere we go in Italy, there is a lot of art, a specific period of art. So
and a lot of beauty as well.
A lot of beauty, yeah. So
Salvatore, what did you want to say?
At Palazzo Strozzi, there is a Jeff Koons event, and it was contemporary.
Yes.
So
yes,
there was a long file to get in, as
a long line,
a long
not
line
file,
to get it.
long line or
Line.
queue.
Queue, yes, on queue. The same as for the Uffizi or. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I want Palazzo Strozzi is a particular thing because it's actually for contemporary art, but every year there's also an exhibition of Verrocchio or a period that is medieval or Renaissance. So it's not that contemporary art.
That's interesting, Sara.
Yeah, because when you see the line, sometimes it's because there are tourists. It's not Florentine people going there. It's not Italian people, or they are going there, but it's a small part of the total people that go inside and visit the exhibition. But so it's not that contemporary for me. I live here and I know I have seen many exhibitions in Palazzo Strozzi. I don't think it's that contemporary as we think.
So that's interesting what you say, Sara, because you say, yes, they have exhibits, but they also have, there's sometimes they show us a Verrocchio or they show us, I don't know, mannerism. It's as if they're saying, ma attenzione, ricordiamo che siamo proprio questo. Is that what, if we say it in Italian?
It's like a memento mori.
All right, so let's read it before the time passes. Okay, so this is kind of small here. Oops, sorry. Okay, so Catherine, can you read, please?
It's too little for me.
It's still too little?
Yes.
Okay. But if I do it this, then I can't get the whole thing on the screen. Wait a second.
Well, let's try more.
Wait.
I'm ready.
All right. So wait. So Catherine, let's see. Has anybody photocopied this?
I take a photo of the screen and
Well, wait, no, but I don't. You can't. If you take a photo of the screen, there's not enough of the thing on it. All right.
I have the copy, Sarah.
Okay, so Sarah, you read, please.
Okay. I paint very large pictures. I realize that historically, the function of painting large pictures is painting something very grandiose and pompous. The reason I paint them is precisely because I want to be very intimate and human. To paint a small picture is to place yourself outside your experience, to look upon an experience as a reducing glass. However, if you paint a larger picture, you are in it. It isn't something you command.
Okay, so stop. So let's write these notes here. So basically, he says that a small painting reduces the experience of the work of art. This is his opinion. And then he says a large painting envelops you or it in an experience. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Sarah, continue.
The progression of a painter's work as it travels in time from point to point will be toward clarity, toward the elimination of all obstacles between the painter and the idea, and between the idea and the observer.
Okay, so this is kind of, I don't know. Is this clear to you, Sarah? It's the painter, the progression of vision is towards clarity, toward the elimination of all obstacles between the painter and the idea, between the idea and the observer. That's, I don't know. That's kind of difficult to me.
Yeah, it's not easy to understand, but I don't know, I would say I can feel it. I can feel it.
Okay.
So maybe when you are in front of an artwork, you can feel what he's saying here.
So it's kind of also like what we were talking. It's similar to what we were saying about Ezra Pound. We said about this emotional, right?
Yes. Yes.
And intellectual experience in one. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Barbara, I was saying something.
Yes.
I wanted to say that this reminded me of when we talked about Agnes Martin and how she said that about her non-objective feelings and her progress and ideas, how they work, and how she said that every time she did something that she thought was wrong, she destroyed it and she did it again. And I saw that as an obstacle to the final thing, to the final painting. So that's what that made me think about.
Yeah, so destroying it because she had not gone, she had not traveled towards that clarity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay, Sarah, continue reading, please.
Yes. I'm not interested in relationships of color or form or anything else. I'm interested only in expressing basic human emotions, tragedy, ecstasy, doom, and so on. And the fact that lots of people break down and cry when confronted with my pictures shows that I communicate those basic human emotions. The people who weep before my pictures are having the same religious experience I had when I painted them.
Okay, so let's say here, the point that I would like to stress is that he's interested in expressing basic human emotions in his paintings. Sarah, what is the meaning of breakdown? People break down.
usually you say when you have a breakdown, so you're having a moment when your mind is blowing, something like that.
Okay, so they break down. So it's as if they're emotional. They become emotional. Their emotional state is not. I can't even think of it myself. They're not in a composed state.
Yes, exactly. That's why you cry.
That's why you cry.
You have mixed feelings, so you're not feeling not well, because it's not correct to say that you're not feeling well for me, I think.
You're right.
Because you can also cry for beautiful emotions, feelings.
Exactly. So
you get overwhelmed.
You get overwhelmed, and your composure, that means, okay, so here I am, Professor Marshall, I'm composed, I'm giving you a lesson, emotionally intact. But if something then hits me strongly at one of these emotions, and I break down, okay, that composure isn't there anymore. All right, continue, Sarah.
It's a widely accepted notion among painters that it does not matter what one paints as long as it is well painted. It is the essence of academicism. Academicism, is it correct?
Academicism.
Academicism, thank you. There is no such thing as good painting about nothing.
Ha! Do you agree?
I need to think about it. I don't know if I agree.
Hanshu, he says, people think that something is good, right? A painting is good if it is well painted. Do you agree?
Well, hard to say. Okay, it's hard to say. It's a simple definition. It's too simple.
It's too simple.
So I can't be agree, but I can't deny. No, it's need to be discussed.
Okay, so you're saying he hasn't supported what he's saying, but he says, okay, it does not matter what one paints. It's not important what one paints, as long as it has been painted well.
Yeah, but who is saying that it's well painted? Because it's like, I like something, but it is good for me, not for other people. So who is saying that it's well painted?
Okay.
Yeah,
so
but sorry. Yeah, but he said also he removed the obstacle between the painter and the idea and the observer. So it's very funny because he talk about a good painting about nothing, etc., etc. But the good painting is like an idea at the observer. So the observer can be could say, yeah, it's a good painting. No, it isn't good painting. So it's always the idea.
All right. So what he's talking about, you're right, is the idea. But he's saying something else. And I just wanted to see if everybody's understanding this. Okay, so a lot of people say, now that's a real painting, because you see, this person knows how to use technique, and the brush strokes are clear, and they've represented this in the clear manner because of the technique is correct. You understand? He's saying, he's saying that that's not what determines a good painting. You could represent nothing with the perfect technique. Well, he says it's well painted because it's represented with perfect technique. But if you're representing nothing, it can't be a good painting.
Yeah, but I said that the good painting, maybe for me, is the good idea or the poetic about the artist. So like, Fontana or Rothko, etc., etc. So for me, good painting is, a Renoir or a Fontana. it's the poetic of the artist. But
right, exactly. That's what he's saying. I agree with
yeah,
you.
exactly.
Okay, continue, Sarah, reading.
To us, art is an adventure into an unknown world, which can be explored only by those willing to take the risks. This world of the imagination is fancy-free and violently opposed to the common sense. It is our function as artists to make the spectator to see the world our way, not his way. We favor the simple expression of the complex though we are for the large shape because it has the impact of the unequivocal. We wish to reassert the picture plane. We are for flat forms because they destroy illusion and reveal truth.
Okay. Do you know what fancy free means?
Is yeah, fancy is like something that's really much like about decoration, something like that. So it's fancy free is no decoration, no,
Okay.
not really fancy.
Okay. All right. Good. So this is Mark Rothko and Adolf Gottlieb speaking, right? So this is kind of like their statement about what they think art should be. 1943. I think we should concentrate, if we want to add to our list, the simple expression of a complex thought, which leads us back again to what we were talking about with imagism. And also this last part I find very fascinating. We are for flat forms because they destroy illusion and reveal truth. So trying to give a three-dimensional aspect to something, right, is in some way he's saying false, because a three-dimensional thing is something that you can touch and you can do with it something. Doing it on a painting is expressing something that is not true. Therefore, flatness reveals a truth that can be only expressed within art. Very interesting, this part. Okay, let's finish it.
I think of my picture as dramas. The shapes in the pictures are the performers. Neither the action nor the actors can be anticipated or described in advance. They begin as an unknown adventure in an unknown space.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so, and then we can add to our list the shapes in the pictures are the performers. And okay, the performers that do the adventure in the unknown space. All right. Let's we don't have that much time, but I would like to finish the last reading, which is the transcript of the video that I hope you watched, because it's kind of difficult to understand this dialogue if you have not watched the video. So let's see. I will have okay, so Salvatore, you'll be Philip Verne.
Okay.
All right, can you see?
Yes.
All right. And Hanshu, you'll be Susan Hudson.
Okay.
And Barbara, you're Mary Weatherford.
Okay.
Okay, so Susan Hudson, begin. That's you, Hanshu.
Could you amplify a little bit the
okay, all right. Yes, I
screen?
think I can do it here.
Uh-huh.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
It's better. Okay, Susan Hudson. Rothko's paintings, it's a kind of blackmail situation. They hold you hostage a little bit.
Okay, so these are people who are speaking. You don't have to say Susan Hudson because you are Susan Hudson, Hanshu, at this moment.
Okay.
And I would like you to give me some expression, not read it like a block of wood, all of you. So you don't say Rothko paintings is a kind of blackmail situation. Rothko's paintings, pause. It's a kind of blackmail situation. They hold you hostage a little bit. You understand?
Okay, yeah, I do. I will try.
All right, let's see if Salvatore is able to give us some expression.
Oh, I took Rothko for granted. It's only, I think, when I came to the United States and I moved from, okay, Rothko is important because it is written in a book to Rothko is important. Actually, when I am in front of Rothko, I'm in front of something that for me is difficult to describe if I stick to the conventional parametry of painting.
Okay.
I try, but I'm very bad.
Yes. Okay. No, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. So he's saying that even though, I mean, if you looked at the video, he is, I think, the director of this is the MoCA Museum still. Yeah, I mean, people have told me that Rothko is important, but it's difficult me to describe why it's important or maybe to understand. So, Mary, what are you saying?
It's like that's
All right,
my line.
That's your line. So everybody, this is slang here, and I don't want you expressing yourselves like this. You don't follow Mary. Mary is an intelligent person, but she's saying it's like. I can't stand it when Americans say that because it doesn't mean anything. So let's continue. Philip.
That's what it is when you look at no line of the place where the orange meets the red or the red meets the blue. Something is happening, and that means vibration.
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 Okay, Susan.
Okay. He still believed somehow that color was a better vehicle for communicating interior states of emotion and feeling, and that there could be kind of universality achieved purely through color.
Very good, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, all right. So here we have a important color vehicle for communicating interior states of emotion and feeling. All right, Mary.
I mean, that's sort of what Rothko is getting at. It's as if it has existed forever. It's a truth. In musical composition, people can kind of clearly see that there is a practice to that. You don't just sit down and express yourself because it's going to turn out like bang, bang, bang. Somehow, people think that can happen with painting. No, a piano concert, there are 88 keys. There are infinite numbers of colors, and Rothko is moving around the color wheel.
Oh, you see how you said no, Mary? Very good. Susan.
Here I am. There are these moments when one color will peek out from behind another color and disrupt a whole passage or kind of give some sense of how the color came to be.
Good. Mary.
I'm always interested in the edges. The painting is not going to go on forever. Life is going to go on forever. Painting is going like, this is me and what is outside of me. Is brush stroke.
Oh. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Oh, it got disappeared. His brushstroke. Wait. Is it on the next slide? His brushstroke. Go.
Turns the corner. It does not go off. It turns the corner. It's like the edge of the painting is a force field that is pressing on the interior of the painting.
What is a force field?
A force field is an invisible barrier of force.
Excellent. Okay, the edge is like an invisible barrier of force. So there's a lot of energy going on within this painting. All right, Susan?
They are a little bit greedy, and they asked for you to kind of be there with them in order to get something more than, oh, it's a red plan of color or it's a blue. To do something more than that, I think, takes some real presence.
Good. Philip?
I can actually stare at it until I empty myself and actually feel it. Until I am only interested in the color, then I am in front of the emotional, physiological space that I am in.
Psychological.
Psychological. Okay.
Very good, Philip. Susan?
You know what you're seeing, but I think the longer you spend looking at them, the more you can kind of unlearn that scene.
Unlearn.
Unlearn. Okay. Okay.
All right. So 1 second, Susan. This is interesting. You know what you are seeing, but I think the longer you spend looking at them, the more you can kind of unlearn that seeing. What does that mean?
Well, it's kind of more time you spend on it, it becomes more strange, more more than
it reveals something else.
Yeah, something. It reveals something else than more than the original means.
Okay, more than just
strange.
these colors.
It becomes strange.
Okay. Do you agree, Philip?
In my opinion or the opinion of Philip?
Your opinion. Do you agree with Susan, Philip?
Yes, I think we must lost something to see other
Okay,
else.
you have to lose something in order to see. Okay, good. All right, continue, Philip.
In order to see the Rothko, you have to look at the Rothko, and looking means that you have to stop. You need to slow down. You need to let the vibration of the color affect you. You don't do that if you just see the Rothko. It's easy to see a Rothko. It's difficult to look at a Rothko.
Excuse me, Philip. That's very profound. Mary?
The energy between the viewer and the painting. That space where this thing is happening. It's almost as if that's the work of art.
Okay, so I think this I really think this is very interesting. Just as I think about unlearning the seeing. What are you saying, Mary, here?
I think we're talking once again about space, about like we talk about negative and positive space, and how a piece does not end where the edges of the piece end, where there are the edges. The piece is the space that the viewers occupy, and the space between the viewer and the painting is also the work of art, because it's an experience and not just something that we are looking at. Also because we talked about how the more we look at the painting, the more we are learning, we are slowing down and looking, and we kind of seeing something else, not just the color. So I think that experience between the observer and the painting, that's the work of art. That's what Mary was saying.
That's what you were saying as Mary.
I was saying, of course.
So I find that so fascinating. So she said that experience that is the space between the work of art and the viewer. It's what's happening there. And that is the artistic experience. It's almost, she's saying that's the work of art. It's not that thing that you're looking at. It's the experience that is going on between you and the work of art. That's the work of and the painting. That is the work of art.
I think it also has to do with the thing we are saying about nature and about observing or being a part of or just observing. So it's this dichotomy between being inside or outside and being a part of or just witnessing something, just looking at something.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So the lesson is practically over, but let me ask you all a question, because we're looking at Rothko, and we're thinking about what we've talked about in imagism, and even in romanticism, even thinking of Turner's work. Do you find his artwork interesting, Rothko? Or, I mean, I want an honest opinion, because a lot of people look at these things and they just don't feel moved at all. Other people very much so, because he's saying he wants to, as I say, hit on these basic human emotions. And because when he does his paintings, it's kind of like a religious experience. But some people remain indifferent to these things. And I would like to know if any of you don't really feel these feelings when looking at a Rothko painting. Or do some of you do feel these things? Anna Midarska, are you familiar with Rothko's paintings?
Yes, I like his paintings very much. I'm sorry.
So you feel these? You feel
like,
touched by these paintings?
Yes, a lot. And when I observe, it means feeling like I'm going in and there is no fondo. It's like entering deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's not time.
Oh, that's very fascinating. So she said it's as if when she's looking at it, she's going deeper and deeper and deeper within it, and there's no background. It's almost like an infinite space that's sucking her in. Fascinating. Anybody else? Wang Ini, are you familiar with his paintings?
Yes, no, I can't control my words in my mind.
Do you feel attracted to these paintings, or do you feel indifferent?
Yes.
Yes, which one? Indifference or attraction?
Indifferent.
Indifferent. Okay. Anybody else? Let's see. Catherine, I think, is maybe indifferent. I'm just guessing.
I want to
Is
say
that true?
Just for pleasure. Say no. No, I was looking, in fact, if I already saw this kind of paintings, and there is one in Beaubourg in Paris I probably have already seen, and I don't remember. I just remember because it's 15 years ago. I saw this kind of picture. I don't remember if I saw a Rothko one.
Okay.
But I remember I didn't understood anything about it.
Okay. So
For
you
me, it
weren't
was
able
just
to.
decoration.
Yeah.
Yes.
It didn't communicate these deep feelings to.
No, a deep feeling. I can understand, for example, the description of Stendhal, of the syndrome of Stendhal, when he went out the Duomo Firenze and he felt tachycardia. I don't know how to say in
Too much
English.
beauty.
Yes, too much beauty. And I can understand this kind of feelings because I received something like that from, for example, in Palazzo Pitti. I saw Medardo Rosso, the girl, La ragazza che ride, the girl, the reading woman, and I really felt attracted. She was smiling to me. So I think I can't feel this kind of feelings watching just a color or two colors. For me, it's just a song with two notes.
Okay, so that's interesting.
I can understand the process of creation and the process of expression, but I can't feel it.
So you're not able to. Is that your general opinion about? Is that your opinion about abstraction in general?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So let me hear somebody
I like
else.
expression of Barbara Ebb's work, for example, sculptures. It's about material. It's very material, and I want to touch it. It's very attractive. But we're talking about sculpture. In a painter, in painting, I have another kind of
relationship.
Relationship.
Interesting. So I wanted two more, and then I'll let you all go because I'm keeping you too long. How about you, Jung Na? Are you familiar with Rothko's paintings?
I never saw the original painting, but I love him for several years. And I think I'm the kind of person who gets attached with his works, because I think his work has everything of my inner world.
It reveals your inner world.
Yes, and the feeling is very, very strong. For the first time I met his work.
Okay, all right. And how about you, Lu Si-yuan? You've been quiet today. Are you familiar with Rothko's work?
No, actually, I can't feel any